What's up, everyone? Welcome to the world premiere of the Going for Three podcast. I am your host, Tony Farr, aka G, and with me are my two co-hosts. Introduce yourself, gentlemen.
Mhm. Shoot, well, PTP also goes by Percy. Ready to get into some talk? See
And
what's
all
up.
right, it's Chris Collins, aka Crazy Take Chris, Lakers in two.
Lakers in
Okay.
two. Oh, God.
Well, tonight on our premiere episode, we're going to be doing a NBA season preview where we will talk about Ben Simmons, obviously, because it's in the news. We will make our playoff predictions, play-in predictions for both the Eastern and Western Conference, our championship predictions, and MVP and Rookie of the Year predictions. So
Catered
with
for
that,
everything.
gentlemen, okay. So with that, let's get started.
All right, so
Ben Simmons.
yeah, so I guess
So,
we can start with like the training camp stuff that happened today.
well, yeah, obviously, yesterday in training camp they did like a team huddle before the end, and Ben was sitting in the back, dribbling a basketball, holding it over his head, not paying attention to anybody, and then they all kind of went in with the hands, and he walked out. And then today, I guess Doc wanted him to do some defensive drills. He said no. He asked him again. He said no, and then he
Sent him
threw.
home.
Yep, sent him
Yep.
home, and he's suspended. For the first game. Although,
Yeah, 1 game suspension.
I mean, let's be honest, it's done. Come on, everybody knows it.
Oh, it's definitely a wrap.
It's a wrap. But obviously the biggest problem is going to be, as we probably would assume, is going to be Daryl Morey wanting the farm for him, and no
Yeah,
sane GM in the league right now would give Morey what he wants, given all this crap. So, I mean, I hate to say Ben's in the driver's seat, but
That's point.
Ben's in the driver's seat in the sense that he wants out. He's going to get out, but not maybe as far as where he'll go. But they got to just, at this point, take what they're going to take. I mean, could somebody give him a couple of quality players and a pick or something? Maybe a pick and a swap? Maybe, possibly.
I mean, like you said with Daryl, he wants to get as much value as he can, and 4 quarters return on the dollar is not really what they want. They don't want. I don't think they want a bunch of assets and maybe two players. They want like that diamond, that 5-star, that blue chip piece in return for Ben. I think at this point, barring yesterday's incident, I think they want to get him back on the floor for a little bit, just to kind of, all right, everybody, yes, he's a flawed player, but he is still, a very good player. And I think they want to start to rebuild his value up just a little bit. I feel like at this point, we all know there's really no coming back from this. Like,
No.
With Joel Embiid came out today and was like, he basically said, I don't care about this man at all.
Yeah. And I mean, they could have had Harden. They screwed that up.
Yeah.
And then all this talk of wanting an all-star player, and then the rumors of like wanting, like the Portland rumor where they wanted, players were not named, but I'm just going to guess based on what everybody seems to think. CJ, Rocco, probably, but it was like 3 firsts and 3 swaps, which that's not happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what could they realistically get now?
I don't think the Kings want to deal with him either, though, which is another.
They didn't want LeVert. They didn't want LeVert. Well, they didn't want LeVert and Brogdon plus whatever from Indiana, and now LeVert's hurt. So,
I mean, that would have probably been their best offer as far as like potential star power to me, just because
the Spurs offer wasn't bad.
DeJounte and Derek White or something like that.
Derek White, and I think it was at least one pick. that's not a terrible deal at all.
Well, it was Derek and a pick, or was it was
It was
DeJounte
Derek.
and Derek?
It was DeJounte. I think it was DeJounte and Derek and a pick.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that just comes down to like how you feel about DeJounte Murray and where he's going, as opposed to how you feel about Karras.
Well, I think in the context of if they wanted an all-star caliber player, I think DeJounte fits that
more so than LeVert.
I feel like as far as defensive play and stuff like that, he is more along than LeVert, and then you kind of add the offensive game to it as like stuff goes on.
I mean, not to mention his youth and lack of injury history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he'd be in the East, so yeah, add that all up, sure.
There's not many point guards in the East that are really like similar skill set wise to what DeJounte Murray gives out.
There's a couple guys in the East. No, let's not,
no,
Trae Young, Kyrie.
But who's more guard heavy, East or West?
I mean, it's definitely the West.
It's definitely the West.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if he wanted to play in California, like we talked about earlier, if the Kings came out with a Buddy Hield, Halliburton, whatever kind of a deal, that ain't bad either. I mean,
yeah, but they already came out and said that they're not trading Halliburton.
Halliburton's too special to want to move that, especially after his rookie campaign.
Yeah,
they'd probably be Bagley and Hield at this point, since Bagley wants out so bad.
True, but then that's not really what the Sixers need.
Do the Sixers need a backup big who wants to play a lot and is probably looking for a rookie max that they probably aren't going to give him anyway?
Facts. They're looking for
and that's definitely dynamic. Not cap, and it's not cap relief, so that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
I could understand if he was like in a Buddy Hield situation or something like that where he was making 20 plus and he was an expiring, maybe. So you could have some cap flexibility, maybe, but yeah. No. I don't think so.
Are the Warriors kind of completely out on that?
Huh?
The Warriors kind of completely out of the Ben Simmons.
I would assume at this point they are, yeah.
Who would they offer to the Sixers in return? I mean,
they probably could give him Jordan Poole now. Jordan Poole's lucky building his stock back up.
Yeah, but I don't think that'd be enough.
No, because the Warriors would want to shed Wiggins probably for salary, and I don't know that they would want that. And
so Poole, Wiggins, and some picks. I don't know if that necessary. I mean, it's probably not going to get much better for them moving forward unless Ben can really reestablish his value on court. But
yeah, his value is going to be really
underwhelming on paper. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this should have been done already. I mean, this is just ugly.
Yeah.
That's my main thing, because when it first surfaced that he wanted out, and he
should have been moved immediately.
Yeah, like he moved out the city, so he didn't want to do with the team. He didn't pick up calls. What about that made you think we can make this happen?
we can bring him back.
It's salvageable. Like, no, he doesn't even want to be in the gym with the coach.
I mean, I don't hate the idea everybody's been floating around just swapping him for Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, I love it for Philly. I like it for Brooklyn, but
Brooklyn would be crazy with that, though, if you think about it.
Oh no, that's what they need. I mean,
Harden could pretty much go back to being off ball to a certain extent. Get his shots up more. KD got another big body. They can play better defense.
But he would have to play the Draymond Green role, because there is no possible way that I'm taking the ball out of James Harden's hands to put it in Ben Simmons' hands. Like he would really have to be Draymond Green, but without the 3-point shot.
So the Blake Griffin role from last year.
Yeah, because I know I've been a proponent of him playing the point guard, but not if he's on a team where there's a better playmaker. And there's not that many teams with better playmakers, in my opinion, than a Ben Simmons. But I mean, James to me is one of those guys.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in theory, having KD and Harden with those type of roles in Brooklyn I mean, and Kyrie not being able to play, it kind of negates the need for Kyrie.
I mean, if Philly wants to like move in that, if they were to swap it, then I'm not sure if Philly has the same like bypass laws about the vaccine and stuff like that. He probably would still have to get.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, I think I think there's a testing thing. You have to either show a test, which so Kyrie would have to test, but he wouldn't necessarily have to get the shot if he refuses. He'd have to test a lot. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like in that case, if Kyrie can just do a bunch of tests, make sure that he's valid, and he gets to play with a guy like Embiid, Tobias, and stuff like that, I feel like.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
that's very much contending team.
Like Chris said, that definitely works for Philly. No, in a heartbeat, I would think.
Yeah, no, that's exactly, they need that type of guy. Like they wanted Dame originally, but I mean Kyrie's not that. They're pretty close to. They play differently, but the same. They're the same type of bucket getting, guard.
Yeah, and Dame's not going it. And Dame's still saying he's not going anywhere. Even if things start bad, he's not going anywhere. But
which is a shame.
Dame's Portland until he dies, and I respect it. I have to respect it.
Oh, I do, but he's not getting a chip.
I mean, I want to respect it, but at the same point in time, if he wasn't balling, Portland would move him in an instant. So it's like,
yeah,
Because
that's why McCollum's on the block right now. Because
and their offseason was not good.
And they had an opportunity to try to get like a real second guy to go with Dame.
I thought they would have went heavy on pursuing DeMar, but it didn't. I never even really saw that take up any steam. I thought that would have been what they would have tried to go after.
Well, but it would have had to, I mean, it would have had to be the same kind of a thing, a sign and trade, but what would
McCollum?
San Antonio would take him?
Would they take him? I mean, like San Antonio is filled with so many defenders that McCollum would literally just have to put the ball up.
I mean, did they have to do a sign and trade? Like, DeMar was a free agent, so
yeah, no the money DeMar got, Portland couldn't have given.
Well, so true. But there were also reports that he was willing to take less money, and I know a lot of those reports were linked to an LA team for him to go back home. But I mean,
I think it was for the Lakers mainly. He would go back to them.
But with the money Portland has on the books, they wouldn't even have had the base mid level. So they wouldn't even have been able to give him that 9 point whatever. Let's just say 10 million mid level. They wouldn't have had that to give him. There's no way. They would have had to try to pull off a sign and trade to give him the money he wants and get him in. And then I don't even know what. I don't see San Antonio in that situation taking McCollum, but I mean Rocco, what, Simons maybe?
Maybe
Simons.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, now I think that trade look might still need to happen for the Blazers though. Get Simons back into a role of scorer. I don't think they want to use him more now, but.
Well, I mean, since we've gone off on this tangent, what about since Bagley is disgruntled? What about Bagley to Portland?
I don't.
With his play style, I'm trying to figure out how that would work.
At the power forward position?
Yeah, probably. Most likely the 4, yeah.
How good is I don't know enough about Bagley defensively. How good is he defensively?
He's solid.
He has room to grow.
He's solid, yeah.
I mean,
the only thing with Bagley is like he hasn't played that much, so it's hard to really analyze what he's really like good at. Really,
no. But based on what we've seen, solid defender, rebound, shot block. I mean, obviously
he's athletic. He's definitely athletic, and he projected to be able to like shoot and stuff.
And if they could get him, and he could play that role and really fits with the team, and it all makes sense, then they could talk extension. Although they'd have the most bloated payroll in the fucking league. Excuse my language.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. They're already paying CJ something that he doesn't
to be
deserve.
like to be at best, possibly at best, like. And I'll make my prediction later, but even if they did something like that, you're talking at best like a 5 seed. At best.
Yeah, like Marvin would have to turn into the rest of his
projection.
I mean, he'd have to turn into like the rest of his contemporaries for it to be significantly worth it. In my opinion, he'd have to get to a certain level that's respectable by like a Trae Young, Luka Doncic, or even like a DeAndre Ayton, where like he's had his moments too. Like
which is crazy to think. Like I feel like more people would pick Bagley over Ayton right now, though. Even with like the Suns and their contract dispute, like
only I think I would if except for the money part. I think because at the end of the day, even if Bagley wants a long-term extension, he's not going to get full max. No one's going to pay him.
No.
Ayton will get it from somebody. If the Suns won't give it, somebody else will.
Well, yeah, I mean, but with the Suns, it's just like the role that he's playing with the Suns, it doesn't really justify them giving him the max. I feel like it's not even necessarily about his talent level. Like, he has talent, but it's like we're already tied up with Devin. We're already tied up with Chris. We gave Bridges his money, not as much as DeAndre's wanting, but it's just like.
Well, then, but
it makes the most bad that they gave Shannon his money though too.
But DeAndre wanted 5-year max money,
max.
Yeah, they came with 3 years max and then went up to 4, and it still wasn't enough. They were still willing to give him max dollar per year, but just not as many years.
Yeah, he's tripping. He needs to take that money.
Well,
he can't get paid by somebody else. Like he'll probably. I don't know if he'll be a contending team. Probably will be a contending team, but he'll get paid.
But now well, that's going to affect predictions because now it's like, do they give it to him? Do they trade him at some point, or just ride out the season?
I don't think they're going to trade him, but
there's not many things they could trade him for. Because the role that he gives them is still something that most bigs in the league can't really give them. If that makes sense.
Well, then just wait it out and see if they can work it out.
I don't know if I agree with that because, like, I feel like I think his role with that team is a role that can be filled by a lot of guys. Like, he's better than a lot of the guys, but the role that Phoenix asks of him, playing defense, setting hard screens, being that finisher off those pick and rolls with Chris and Devin Booker, like. I feel like there's a lot of guys that could do what he's doing. He's not really being asked to do a lot. He's thriving in his role, and he could do more.
I mean, they could wait it out. I mean, even though they didn't get this deal done, he's still restricted, so they could wait it out, pay him, sign and trade to get something back. I mean, they could wait it out.
I mean, well, with him, I didn't realize he was restricted. They don't have to trade him at all.
He's restricted.
Well, I think that's pretty much the deal with that. If they don't get the extension, they're restricted.
Okay.
But if somebody comes at him, but see, there's the thing where they could benefit from this because of the restricted. Nobody can offer him 5. Can only offer him 4, which Phoenix was willing to go up to. But then again, 9 months from now, would they? I mean, if he balls, sure, maybe they would, but if not, they won't offer. And they would probably want to sign and trade to get something back, I think.
I forgot JaVale McGee was on that team, so yeah, they had a suitable replacement right there if they did want to trade him for something else.
I mean, yeah, JaVale's definitely serviceable. I don't know. I feel like we got distracted. I feel like we went off on a.
Well, that's sometimes that's how it works.
Yeah, I guess we can go into predictions. So you.
Well, bottom line, Ben Simmons is a hoe.
You're not wrong. Yes. You're not wrong. And yes, he needs to be traded.
Today, even if it happens.
All right, so yeah, let's get into predictions.
What conference are we
I
starting with?
I'm willing to go 1 through 10. If you all want to do that, I'll go 1 through 10 in both.
Which conference are we doing for? Yeah, that's fine. Which one are we going with first?
Let's do East.
All right, let it rip.
Anybody want to go first, or should I?
I can do it. I go ahead
All
and do
right.
it.
All right, go
I
ahead.
need to see the list of the teams.
All right. Yeah, so I got at my 1 and 2 Brooklyn and Milwaukee at 1 and 2.
Okay.
Then especially with a lot of the turmoil that's going on right now in Philly, I'm gonna go ahead and move them down a bit. I did have them at 3, but now I'm gonna go ahead and have Miami at 3, and then I'm gonna go ahead and have Chicago at 4, Philly at 5, New York actually no, not New York, Atlanta at 6, New York at 7, and then for my last 8 spot, I got your boys.
Wow.
Your boys in good.
You're selling my Celtics. All right. All right.
Well, no, I don't. So I think that from like 4 through 8 is going to be extremely close. Like the difference between like 3 games.
No, I definitely agree that I think probably I don't even know if it's that far. I think past Brooklyn and Milwaukee, you're going to have everything else other than like your 9, 10 bottom part. The rest of your playoff teams, it's going to be a jumble, and there's not going to be a large gap between like 3 and 8.
Right.
Yeah.
And
like
although
4 or 5 games, probably some kind of a gap. Not going to be anything major.
Yeah.
No.
And I had Boston at 8, but I mean, they could, like I said, they could be as high as that 4 or 5 spot. But right now, I mean, I just
okay. And what about your play-ins?
Oh, for the 9 and 10. I'll go with.
I'm looking for options for that one.
You know, I'm gonna keep Indiana there just because I still like their talent, and if they can get healthy. Actually, I'll keep the playing the same, or Orlando that it was this year. Indiana and Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay.
For my 9 and 10, yeah, Indiana and Charlotte.
P. Or you want me to go? If you're still thinking.
Oh yeah, I can do it. Because I don't know about I'll probably do like I don't know if I can put them in like order because like I feel like between Bucks and Nets it could be like 50-50 between one.
Well, you want to think for a couple more minutes? I'll do mine.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Milwaukee 1. Brooklyn 2. Atlanta 3.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to stay up there. Chicago 4.
Oh, no love for Miami.
Miami 5.
Okay.
Boston 6. Philly 7. New York 8. And I'm a little iffy on that at the moment, but I'll keep them at 8. And then 9 and 10 will be Charlotte and Detroit.
Oh, come on.
And I'm not playing up to PTP. I honestly think they could be a playing team. I do.
Y'all heard it here first.
Detroit or Orlando. I could honestly see one of them being a playing team.
I see Orlando more so than Detroit. They have a lot of young talent with those guards, and if Markelle can come back and be what he was starting to look like,
and if Isaac can be healthy, I could see it, sure.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm gonna say Detroit.
Okay.
I think I got it. All right. I'm gonna go Bucks number 1. Brooklyn 2. 3? I'm looking trying to think between Hawks and Heat. Probably say Heat more or less because Kyle Lowry got that experience. 4, I'm gonna go with the Hawks. 5? I'll go Chicago. 6, yeah, 6. I'll go Boston. 7, Knicks. 8, Sixers. Then 9 and 10. At 9 and 10, I'd go my Detroit Pistons, of course, and I'm gonna go with Indiana. I feel like Indiana might.
No Charlotte.
Yeah, I feel like Indiana. They have a lot of unison on that team, and of course Charlotte did get better. Like they got Oubre, and if Hayward can play, but that
Right, it's
Pacers team
health.
is gonna be solid.
Health is going to be, while they're not Charlotte is in that range. It's going to be health for
Yeah.
sure. But
Even with Melo, low key, because even Melo missed a lot of time with that wrist injury. So if either of those three miss time, then the Pacers can definitely sneak in for a playing spot.
So you had Philly at 8?
you had Philly at 8.
Yeah,
Well, you guys are low. I thought I was low on Philly, boy. Y'all super low on Philly.
Yeah,
I mean,
the East is strong, and I think they're going to take a step back and lose Simmons, and then there'll probably be a little bit of chemistry issue with whatever comes in. I think they're just going to step back, and the East is just so much better. And like you said,
they do have a top 5. They have a top 5 player in the East, depending
but
on where you put Embiid.
Well, that's true, but the East has gotten a lot better, and like you said, more than likely that from 3 to 8, there isn't going to be a huge difference in wins. So the 8 seed could literally be like a 48-ish win team.
Right.
So it's not necessarily an indictment on Philly so much as the East is that much better. And they could very well be an 7 or 8 seed with 48 wins. And it just, looks like, they had a bad year, but still won 48 games. So, it's a parity thing as much as they're going to take a step back too. The East is pretty stacked for a change.
Raptors are looking at dark horse. I mean, throw that out there.
East has been pretty decent for these past couple of years.
Yeah, but this is pretty. I mean, yeah, but this is a pretty nice Eastern Conference. It's been a long time since the East was loaded.
They stepped it up a lot after the playoffs last year. They stepped it up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, all right, so let's go to the West. This should be interesting.
You want to take this one?
I mean, I'll go first if y'all want.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Okay. This is probably going to be a little hot, but all right. Utah 1. Lakers 2.
Okay.
And that hurts my heart but it's because I honestly I think there's gonna be some issues at first, but then they're gonna roll. But I'm still not like totally sold on them just being like the be all end all. But still, I'm gonna have my 2. Denver 3. Phoenix 4. Dallas 5. Clippers 6.
Wow.
Yeah. Golden State 7.
Whoa.
Portland 8.
Okay.
And then your playing teams will be Minnesota.
Interesting.
And whoa, I gotta think on this one for a second. Wow. Minnesota will be the 9. And 10 will go with oh boy. 10 will go with Memphis.
Okay.
I actually thought about San Antonio for a second because I just think Pop will keep them overachieving.
At a certain point.
Yeah, that's true. But Memphis.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors one was kind of.
Yeah, you the disrespect. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of disrespect going on your list.
The Clay coming back too? 7?
Hey, the West is stacked too, man. Well,
I'm
he's not coming back game 1 now.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
not
It's
game
a, it's a,
one,
it's a
but
long season. He'll be back.
yeah.
Well, hey, look, as a resident Gen X old dude of the group, that's my take.
All right.
So,
You ready for mine?
yeah.
All right, let's go on and get it. All right, we got at number 1, I got the Nuggets. At number 2, I got the Jazz. At 3, I got the Lakers.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't hate.
At 4, I got the Suns. At 5, I got the Warriors. At 6, I have the Clippers. 7, Mavericks. 8, Grizzlies. My 9 and 10. Actually, no. I am going back and forth. Well, actually, no, I'm not. My 9, I'll go with the Pelicans, and then 10. Blazers. They still have Dame, but that team they were struggling.
Pelicans with that odd mix and Zion's iffy health. I don't know.
Brandon Ingram is still a star in this league.
True.
And they have somebody else they just got, didn't they?
Devontae Graham.
They got Devontae.
I mean, I actually, to be honest, I actually like the trade they made for Adams, and Adams actually spent the offseason learning to shoot, so that could help them a lot if he can actually shoot a little bit, especially spacing wise. I don't hate that deal. Personal opinion, I don't hate it. I know a lot of people don't like Steven Adams, but I kind of like him, and the fact that he spent the offseason learning to shoot, I think could be a big help.
Yeah, well,
Steven
Adams. They got Joe Val. Yeah.
Yeah, Steven is on the Grizzlies now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, I like Jonas for the Pelicans because he can shoot. So.
Yeah. And again, my bad. Spacing is good too.
Yeah, he had his best season this year. So
I just remember watching the videos of Adams learning to shoot and was like, okay, that's going to be a help spacing wise. Yeah, but man, I don't change my pick. I don't change my pick though.
I mean, I can't. For me, I can't put the word that low just because I think there's two things. I think another year with like the team that they had. I think Andrew's going to be bigger or better. I think Jordan Poole, we all think he's going to be better. With Clay coming back, I think the team's really going to start putting it together again, and they're going to be in that, they're going to be in that range again. Steph, I feel like Steph has taken these past 2 years to really acclimate himself to being able to take that brunt of like being the main guy again. Like you can tell, like he's put on weight, he's a little bulkier. Like I think they're ready to get back into the mix again. And with the Clippers, I just think that Paul George is a sleeper for MVP in my opinion.
Possibly.
So I can't have him that low.
But I did take into account in my thinking that Clay's not going to be back right away.
True,
is Poole as good as he looks? Will Wiggins take a step? Can they be deeper? And can they actually play like functional defense? That's my concern.
With their two rookies, they added to that.
It's a lot of ifs.
But as long as Draymond Green is out there, their defense will be at least competent.
Yeah. Well, I'd like it to be a little more competent than it.
I mean, me too. But
like I said, I don't. Like I said, I won't argue your point. Your point is valid. I guess my pick is sort of like the devil's advocate take. Like there's a lot of what ifs, a lot of ifs there. If those things do happen, then you're probably right. If they don't, it's probably going to be more like what I think.
Well, my main thing is my main question for you is what do you think Clay is going to return as? At least offensively, not defensive, offensively.
I think by the end of the season he'll be Clay. It's going to take him a little bit, but by the end of the season he'll be Clay, and even where I put them in the playoffs, they're going to be a tough out. No question about it. He'll be Clay by the end of the year, but when he comes back, he won't be like quote unquote vintage Clay. He will not be.
Yeah,
it'll take a while.
I think that Andrew Wiggins is like a much better version of like what they had before KD got there, in like a Harrison Barnes. Like I think Andrew Wiggins is a better defender. He's a better scorer, more athletic.
Like, way more athletic.
And he's quietly had two very good. Yeah, he's quietly had two very good years in Golden State. Like I know he'll never get that recognition because of where he was drafted and what he was supposed to be technically, I guess. But like he's had 2 very good years in Golden State. So last year was a very good year for him. It was.
He's not Maple Jordan, but he's San Fran Wiggins. That's what he is right now.
I mean, you could be right. I won't argue that. All right.
Now I'm kind of puzzled because when we said Denver, like I was trying to figure out if Murray's playing this year, but I feel like he might.
Oh no, I think that Michael is gonna be in that All-Star conversation this year.
Murray will play.
Yeah,
Murray will play.
But Michael Porter Jr. is gonna be averaging plus 20.
But I can't put them at the top. I thought about it, but I couldn't put them at 1. I thought about it though.
Well, a lot of times, at least especially in the West, I feel like I give the number 1 seed to the team that I think is going to care about it the most. The Lakers don't give 2 shits about it at all. They're going to be the entire season is just going to be them trying to work their chemistry and giving each of their vets the adequate amount of rest. I think the Jazz, with them having that seed last year, and still being knocked out, I feel like they don't care much about it as much either. They're really trying to focus on themselves as a team and where they came up short. I think the Nuggets are going to care a little bit more about it. I don't think they've been a number 1 seed yet, have they? They've been a 2 seed before, haven't they? But they haven't been the number 1 overall seed.
I don't believe they've ever been. No.
Yeah, so I think it'll matter to them.
Weren't they 1? I thought they were 1 the year before last year.
I thought they were 2. Yeah. I thought they were 2 when they lost to the Lakers. I thought because the Lakers were the number 1 seed, right? With the first year with AD, the Lakers were number 1 overall seed, right? And then the Nuggets were 2, or was it backwards?
It might have been. I feel like it's the other way around. I remember they said the year Jokic could have won MVP. That was like their best team year, I think. I might be wrong. I don't know.
All right, let's hear your picks, BTB.
All right. So number 1, I'm going Utah. Number 1. Number 2, I got the Suns. Mainly just because it's like almost the exact same team with like 2 new pieces. 3, I'm gonna go Lakers. 4. Go Clippers for 4.
Whoa.
5. Yeah, Clippers for 4. 5, I got Golden State. 6, I got the Mavs. 6, 9, 7. Like 7, Minnesota.
Whoa.
8.
Oh, somebody's not gonna make it on yours. Oh, you hold on now.
I feel like Minnesota's a really good team as well.
I'm intrigued. I have them as a play-in, so it's not.
But they have a lot of talent, crazy amounts of talent.
Yeah. 7 Minnesota. 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 8. Go 8 Grizzlies.
Did you say Phoenix?
Yeah, I said Phoenix was like
Phoenix
2.
3.
Oh, so who'd you leave out? Yeah. Who didn't make it?
Well, I left off the Thunder, the Kings, the Spurs. That's it. And the Pelicans. I think I left
Pelicans, Portland.
Yeah.
It's in Portland. Oh, okay.
Well, who you said you didn't even give an 8. You had Minnesota at 7.
Oh, yeah. Got Grizzlies at 8.
Grizzlies at 8.
Playing, I'm gonna go. Pels 9, Portland 10.
Wait, who?
I'm gonna go Pels 9, and then Portland is at 10.
Whoa! Wow.
Damian will always drag that team in, and I feel like
facts.
Zion really isn't a factor for me with the Pelicans. I'm more or less looking at like Ingram, the rookies.
Yeah.
Val.
I just explain it to me. I understand like how Paul George can play, and that he could be, if he could maintain it all year, an MVP candidate.
He's
Won't
going
argue
to
that point.
He's going to.
But for
overall,
I had him at 5%.
Yeah, but so overall with that Clippers team, we really look at it. For one, it's mostly the same team, except for like Kawhi's gonna miss a few games probably.
Pretty much the whole season.
Yeah, like you got like Trey Man coming back, still very solid.
Reggie
Johnson,
Jackson,
I don't know. Reggie Jackson, prolific scorer. I feel like Keon Johnson might play a pretty decent role for them this year, just because like their rotation needs to get well rounded. They brought Batum back too.
Serge
Ibaka. Yeah, Serge would be healthy. Like a lot of the stuff for the Clippers was like they're all healthy. I feel like that team could be top 5 minimum.
Okay, but here's my thing. I guess again, as I'll be the grumpy old fart here and play devil's advocate. See, this is based on them, that momentum that they had in the playoffs, them that rolling over into the season, and them consistently doing it all year. You really think they're going to be able to do that? Because I don't necessarily think so.
I mean, I just said I think Paul George is a dark horse MVP. So for me, he has to. If he doesn't perform to the level that his talent dictates, then yes, they're not even going to make the playoffs. But
they'll make the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs.
If he's not playing at the level that he needs to play, they will not make the playoffs.
If he's not leading, then they'll be down.
I'm fully confident that he'll play to that level, just because I feel like Paul George's struggles always come from the fact that there's someone else. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to acclimate to someone else. Yeah, it's like Kawhi's gone. Like there's nobody. There's no other.
You think it's going to be that Indiana dog? Paul George back.
He's going to have to. And as far as offensively, he's way better. He's way better offensively now than he was back then. Like just skill and refinement wise. Like I think he's going to be upwards of like 28 to 30 points, man. Like I really do.
I mean, plus just like I said, the role players that they have, a lot of these guys, like Trey Man's getting better. He's getting more and more experience. He already showed he can do a lot of different things. Reggie Jackson knows exactly what they need out of him, scoring wise. Serge, paint defense. You already know he can stretch it out, got the burner. Everybody's like all hands on deck with like health. Why or not? Like that's a top 4 team, top 5.
And they have good vets, good veteran players like the Morris twin, Batum, who reestablished his NBA career this past year.
Yeah,
you know, Luke Kennard. Is Luke Kennard on this team still?
Yeah, Kennard's still there.
Kennard's still there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They still got Zubac, right? Yeah, they got Zubac too, I think.
I think they do. Yeah, they do still got.
Yeah, Zubac. I think they still have Zubac. Yeah.
And Zubac was looking coming into his own in the Sun series though.
He was
the last 2 games.
So, hey, I mean, got Eric Bledsoe too. I forgot. Hey,
I mean, I won't.
Bledsoe can play now. Let's not actually play.
I won't totally shit. I won't totally shit on your pick. I don't see it.
It's gonna be like how it was with the East. It's gonna be a tough scenario to see if any of this actually goes out the way it could or way it should.
Oh no, we'll definitely at some point, you know, when it gets to that point, we'll come back to this and see how we did.
I mean, Kawhi was missing half the games anyway, and they were playing good.
Yeah, but like, kind of like how the Raptors, where it's like that's the only difference. Like, it ain't this is like the Raptors team where it's like, you know, it is kind of like similar. Like with or without Kawhi, they're still a solid team. It's just like Kawhi will look better when he's giving you an extra 30. The team by itself.
Also, I also want to throw out there that none of us said the Raptors at any play or in any playing situation. None of us said that.
No.
I did say they were a dark horse though. I can't give them a playing spot, but Scottie Barnes is intriguing.
I think they'll be more than likely. I think they'll be a scrappy defensive team, but I don't see consistent scoring on that roster.
Oh, with OG
not enough.
OG and Scottie, they're definitely going to be defending.
Right. Fred? Like I said, I think they'll be a scrappy defensive team, but there's not enough scoring on that roster to make the playoffs. No. Mm-mm. I see him as 35 tops.
35 dubs.
I don't know. I mean,
35 wins tops.
Agree with PTP. They could be. I wouldn't be surprised. They are definitely dark horse with people. Like I agree.
I mean, yeah, I could see a scenario. I mean, they'll be scrappy defensively. They'll play solid defense, and they're well coached. But
Gary Trent could take another step forward.
Plus, there's 2 players that you have to take into consideration. Precious Achiuwa, who was on the Heat, went overseas, had the great stuff for. I think he was for Nigeria's team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he came back in the summer league. I didn't know he was on the Raptors, but he looked pretty good. And then Malachi Flynn, I think the rookie they had from like a season ago, I think. Those guys are going to be in the rotation this year with Boucher and all them guys.
They still got Goran too.
Yep, Goran Dragic.
I still say give him a year. I don't see it.
Understandable. They definitely have a lot of young talent. Gary,
Side note
Scotty, OG, Harden.
though, I'm glad nobody actually thought about the Wizards because I really don't want to hear about Rui Hachimura for an hour. So
We're gonna get to Rui. Don't you worry about that. We're gonna get to Rui.
okay, all right.
Let's not get to Rui.
We're gonna get to
Are we
Rui.
gonna pick like most improved player too on top of everything else? So you can
There's
throw
no
in.
there's no way he picks him for that.
Yeah, I don't know with this man. He could. He very well could. Honestly, he very well could. All right, we got our picks in.
Yep.
Finals. Let's hear it.
Oh, come on now, bro. Come on, man. Lakers in Brooklyn. But I will say, on that East side, 7-game series again.
Conference finals.
Yeah, easily 7-game series. I refuse to believe that with KD there, James nuts up like he's done in the past, where he's had to score almost like all the points. I refuse to believe it. The one time that he had an elite help in Chris Paul, yeah, he nutted up those last 2 games when Chris was hurt. But when Chris was there, they looked right on par with Golden State. So I refuse to believe with KD that it's not just.
You're not gonna like what I'm going to say. But go ahead.
That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. That's it.
I want to hear this.
Okay. All right. My heart. I'm gonna go.
Boy.
I'm gonna go with my. No, wait. I'm gonna go with logic. I'm gonna go with logic. My heart.
Yeah.
My heart says rematch. But
Bucks and Suns.
But
Bucks
logic. My logical prediction is not the same. My heart says rematch. Logical prediction is Lakers Bucks. Bucks repeat.
You really think the Suns will get back?
In my heart, I think that they could, but logic tells me Lakers will probably get there, but I think the Bucks are going to get back. I think
I don't know,
Brooklyn's going to be they'll be good, and then they'll lose in the playoffs. The Kyrie thing will kind of haunt them. Who knows what's going to happen with him? I say they probably are going to be like 1 game apart. Like I could see one of them being like 62-20, and then like 61-21, like 1 game apart. 7-game series, I agree, but I think Milwaukee gets back to the finals. Bucks, Lakers, Bucks repeat.
I will say, I mean, the Lakers do have they're one of the few teams with the personnel to give Giannis straight up fits. You have somebody who can literally who you can put in front of Giannis and just be comfortable as you can be.
Better hope if Giannis is actually really going to start shooting now.
Giannis is shooting.
I mean, but at the same time, I could say the same thing about this. If as long as AD doesn't play like a hoe, then it's the same thing. If AD plays then it's
healthy. Yeah,
you mean or just and plays? Just how about
Giannis
plays?
has a lot of responsibility if AD is playing up to his potential. That's a great matchup right there. Like they both are going to be giving each other fits. I imagine.
There you go.
But it's just like I don't know. I can't go that far, man. Both with the Bucks playing both those teams, the Nets and Lakers, it's like the opposite teams have.
Well, that's why I said
top 3 players.
That's why I said I went with logic. My heart says rematch and CP3 gets his ring, but
you got to beat the Bucks.
Yeah, my heart wants a rematch and CP3 to get a ring, but logically, no. It's Lakers Bucks win.
The Suns gave Giannis too much confidence. he see that team. He see that team again. It's gonna get ugly.
He might drop 60 on them boys if he see them again.
He said, "Are you gonna put DeAndre Ayton in?" Okay, all right.
I got 2 options. Like I feel like a reasonable one would probably be Lakers, Nets, and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go with potentially Nuggets and Bucks, and Jokic gets a championship.
Hey,
But
I like it.
do y'all believe these predictions though?
Yes, I do.
I
certainly do.
I'm really high on Michael Porter Jr. Like, I have no doubt that.
Me too.
Yeah, I have no
Yes,
doubt that if Jokic and Porter can really get it rolling and like their role players are like really keeping it together, they can make it past like where they've been stopping at the past few years.
Well, no, I like Michael Porter too. I think he has the ability to be an offensive superstar. I just feel like I don't know. For me, I can't put them past already
Established
proven
players.
names. I just don't see how Jokic, Michael Porter Jr. and a recovering Jamal Murray gets past a LeBron, AD, and a Russell. To me, we already know like Jamal Murray is not a great defender. He's gonna be coming off that injury. Like somebody gonna have to guard Russ.
Yeah, but I feel like bracket wise though, shoot, the Lakers and the Nuggets might not even meet until potentially that later half of the bracket.
I
Because the
mean
Lakers are
that's.
like pretty high, but the Nuggets are like 6-5.
I mean, if it's
You
also
gotta see
partially
them.
based on your seeding predictions, okay. I mean, I don't hate that prediction. I don't see it, but I don't hate it either.
Yeah. It's a
I
stretch,
do not hate it.
but if it happens, then
It's a stretch, yeah, for sure. It's a stretch, but I don't hate it.
He said for sure.
yeah, for sure, it's a stretch.
I don't want you to think. I don't think it's definitely a stretch, but I respect it.
All right. MVP.
Hmm.
MVP.
Michael. It's like two I got in my head right now. Giannis.
Yeah.
Well, Giannis can get it, and potentially maybe Luka.
Don't. Okay.
I gotta go back to my standing predictions again.
I'm gonna say Luka, but I could see Joker.
Repeat.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with Luka.
We're gonna go with Giannis because I already know the Bucks are probably gonna be a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. He's gonna get even better stat wise if he's shooting the ball a lot more.
Yeah, no. As soon as he won that championship, his MVP considerations came right back into play because they didn't want to like keep giving him consideration if he was flaming out in the playoffs. So now that he's won his ring, he'll definitely be in the mix of like because he's gonna be averaging another 25 to 26.
I mean, so we basically all agree that Giannis, Jokic, Luka, probably the three.
I didn't say Luka, and I didn't say Jokic, honestly. All right, but I got to think about it. I'm still looking.
Okay. I feel like Chris gonna sell us here, but go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm really trying to pick somebody that aligns with like who I said as well, and who's gonna have a lot of responsibility. So I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Giannis, Steph, and Embiid. To be honest, I had the Sixers at what my 5 or 6 seed.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Embiid was. I mean, hey, it's a hope that he stayed healthy. That's a big if, but I mean,
he will have a lot of this
when he
play,
was
so
healthy,
the
he was
chances are
the
higher.
front runner.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the front runner when he was healthy.
All right. Well,
and then Steph, I just think the Warriors are going to be better. So people were trying to give it to Steph when they weren't even in the playoffs. So I got him as top four.
He played stupid.
All right, we won't do most improved, but
why not?
Let's say
we can do most improved.
Okay, we could do most improved. I was going to say we'll save the argument part for last, probably. But go ahead.
Save it. Yeah, we can save it.
All right.
I got 2 hours for most improved, so I can.
The fireworks can be last. Okay, that's fine. Most improved. Ooh, boy.
I got either Markelle Fultz or Jaren Jackson for the Grizzlies.
I had a Grizzlies player, but I wasn't. Well, actually, I got 3. Now that I think about it, so One might be a stretch because I mean it depends on like how the team is constructed. I still think Rui can probably be good for the Wizards. I'll leave him up there for most improved. Number two, even though I think Porter averaged around probably like 19 or something, kind of like with the last one. I think he averaged around that last year, but I feel like he might take a bigger leap. And then lastly, I'm gonna go like John Morant because John Morant will probably have a lot more comfortability.
That's my pick.
John Morant for most improved?
Yep.
Yeah.
What did he average last year?
I think he's gonna go stupid.
I mean, he averaged 19.
He averaged 19 and 7 last year, so I mean, shit for him.
Yeah.
I
think he's gonna be 24, 25.
And 10?
Probably 9.
Probably 8, 9. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna take that. He's gonna take that De'Aaron Fox step, eh?
And then looking with the Grizzlies, like kind of like how I would look at it with Porter, with a like. I'll just put it like this: with Jaren coming back, which is like pretty much Ja's right hand man for the most part. You know, Dylan was playing like that guy. Got a I forgot what rookie they got. I don't know if they got what rookie did they get? I forgot what it was. But you got a Steven Adams in the paint, veteran leadership. A lot more assists probably at the rim.
And now he can space the floor a little bit if he actually has some kind of a jump shot. That'll help a lot. Like I said.
A lot of room for potential with the Grizzlies.
I knew this man was going to say Rui. I said, I knew it.
No, like because Rui just like that was a team. Literally, somebody has to take the reins. I don't think it's.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I know you talked about it, but I kind of thought if we brought it up, like back against the wall, you would not.
You said somebody has to take the reins. That's like the number
2.
Number 2 over.
It's still gonna be Beal.
Over a Trez and a Kuz.
Kuz was still going layups.
Honestly,
Kuz had a game where he hit like 7 threes in the preseason.
Honestly, though, when I was thinking about this afternoon before we got on, I thought about most improved. I actually was thinking for a few minutes. I was thinking about Trez.
Yeah. He's gonna put up about 18.
He had a real nice preseason. I think he's gonna be really solid.
But Trez is gonna be solid, but I don't know if he can maintain it.
Well, the thing is, as long as you can, like, since the Wizards don't have another option, they're gonna have to deal with his like deficiencies defensively, and their defense is already bad. The reason, like the Lakers, he wasn't getting playing time because like he just couldn't play defense, and there's like we can just put somebody better out there to play.
I see. Trez, I see something like.
I see 18 and 9, 20 and 10. Honestly,
I was gonna say like 16 and 10.
Honestly, I think like 17 and 9.
I can see him getting up to the 18s. He was averaging that when he was playing with Lou and
with the Clippers
boys, yeah.
But there were a lot of options on that team to where like he could silently give you 18 because literally you got to worry about so much other stuff.
To me, he was the second best player at the time. It was Lou Williams, and then it was Lou Williams, and then it was Trez. To me, I mean, and Shea was still coming into his own for real. That was his rookie year, I want to say, but Trez averaged 18 and 7. Hey, come on.
Yeah, I like this. If I'm not gonna go with Rui from the Wizards outside of Trez, I'm gonna go Gafford. I'm gonna go Gafford. Pretty solid defender. Showed up in the playoffs before they got kicked. He's gonna take bigger steps.
Hey, Kyle Kuzma could be in the running too. To be honest, I know y'all don't. There's no love for Kuz here, but y'all know how I feel about Kyle.
Hey, I agree that Kyle wasn't. I know Kyle's not a dumpster fire, but the Wizards.
People act like he can't play the ball, like he can't play the game of basketball.
Yeah. People said Kuzma belonged in Shanghai. Like it was bad. The Wizards got a lot of options though overall as far as like who could be number 2. So I mean,
and their defense is gonna be terrible, but that's okay.
Yeah. They'll probably have at least four finalists from their team for most improved.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, whoever that might be for this first episode, hopefully a large audience. Now it's time for the fireworks. Rookie of the year.
I'll let y'all go first because y'all already know where my head is at.
I'm going with Jalen Green for Rookie of the Year. I think that
I
think
agree.
the field's going to be tough for sure, and I think that for this particular race between Jalen Green and another very fine young player, I think that Jalen's going to put more points in. I think Jalen's going to put more points up. I think that the fact that I just think he's going to be able to just do what he wants offensively from just a shot taking standpoint. I know he's playing with Kevin Porter, but I really see Jalen putting up about 20 to 22 points a game, and about probably I see about 20 to 22, 3 to 4, and 3 to 4. So about 3 to 4 rebounds, 3 to 4 assists. He has holes in his game. His frame's a little frail. He definitely needs to get solid out. He's a streaky shooter, but when he gets it going, man, he gets it going. I don't
know if he's going to quite average that much stat wise, but yeah, I agree. He's rookie of the year.
I can see 20, man. I definitely can.
20 probably. I can see 20, sure.
He will have the green light, so I mean anything's possible.
Now it's gonna be tight between him and Cade for sure. But I'm a sticky with Jalen Green, man. I think that
Jalen Green, Cade second, Cade a close second,
very close.
My dark horse is Suggs.
Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice little team there. He quietly under the radar.
He'll
be in the conversation at one. He'll be at some point in the season. He will definitely be in the conversation.
Scotty should deserve some recognition too as well.
Yeah. I got to be honest. Those two are the most well-rounded right now as far as complete.
I mean, he'll be on the ladder. I don't think he'll be in any serious consideration to actually win it, just because there's too many established vets on his team. But he'll be recognized.
And no hate, because I honestly, I think if Davion was on a different team, he would definitely be in this conversation.
You said who? Mitchell.
Davion.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
If he was on a different team, he would definitely be in this for sure.
He's playing behind two very good guards.
Mm-hmm.
One does the same thing he does, is a little bit taller. So I feel like Michael Halliburton's a lot now, but Halliburton's a lot.
And honestly, even looking back on it, I like him a lot. But why did they take him when you had Fox and Halliburton? Why?
My lot. Although Sacramento doesn't really use much logic, it seems, but I think at the time they might have been thinking trading one, and it was an insurance pick. Yeah. But he's just so good. Is he so good? They have to. I mean, we'll figure out how to use them all at this point. But I think it was an insurance pick because they probably were considering a trade. And it was an insurance pick. Now it's just he's so good. We'll figure out how to use him.
But I mean, if Halliburton can't play the three, which he really can't, he's a guard. I just don't see how they can really work. I don't know.
It'll probably be Fox. It'll probably be Fox Halliburton in the backcourt, and then Mitch will probably run a little bit of 2 and 1, let Fox sit a little bit.
I mean, could any of them play the three really at points and run a 3-guard lineup?
I mean, you might be able to go a 3-guard lineup and probably stick some hybrid defenders out there, 2 6'8" to 6'10" guys that can, or 6'7" to 6'10" guys that can play, that can defend, 2 through 4, 3 through 5 type shit. But
it'd have to be like Holmes, and I forgot who that guy was with the dreads that was on the summer league team, because he was flying all over the court. But I think he's on their roster. If it's like those two, then I mean he might make it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's reality with this rookie of the year stuff, though.
Reality.
Well, yeah, but the problem is because they don't really want to use back, because I think they're planning to start Tristan Thompson at the 5. So
I forgot all about Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
They got they still got Harrison Barnes and Mo Harkless too, and they can play some of the forwards sometimes.
Yeah, Harkless,
yeah. Go ahead. Talk about your boy. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna be respectful and give 3 options that I got for rookie of the year. I gave 3.
All right.
One, obviously, I feel attached to, but overall, I honestly think he's a solid player. I'm going Cade Cunningham for my main pick to be rookie of the year. Okay, now I'll explain it because obviously there's reason to why people would think
he's a home. He's a homer, but let him explain.
I don't even know. Like I feel like about this, like the Jalen Green, like compelling reason for that would be because he has the green light to score. More or less, I feel like it's the same thing here because the only other guard in his way is Killian Hayes. So at some point, he's gonna have the bulk of the offense on his back, and then he's just a really well-rounded player. That's my take. 2, obviously Jalen Green because like you said, he's playing like it's a young team. Really ain't got no number one. Depending on if John Wall is still there when they really get rolling. And number 3 is kind of a random one. I'm gonna go Cam Thomas
on the Nets.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cam Thomas because I feel like his shooting ability is something that they really lack in their playoff run with Joe Harris kind of disappearing. So if throughout the stretch of the season he starts to pick it up, it could really be like that 6-man with a cannon type role for them. He could definitely probably win Rookie of the Year. Play him by playing himself into the lineup.
All right, that's fair.
Get realistic.
I'm not 100% on him on Cade really having to shoulder that much of the scoring load.
I agree,
but
they still got Grant there.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Outside of Cade, I mean, realistically, Killian's probably going to be leaning more towards defense this year. At least I would hope. Like defense facilitated, and then he shoots when he has to. And then outside of that, it's like Sadiq is probably like going to be one of our main scorers. Like him and Jeremy are probably going to be 50-50.
Jeremy's low-key looking real good. So I think I mean, fair enough. It's your team. You know them better than we do. I think you might be selling them a little short, but
yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, not to say like they're not going to score a lot of points because obviously like those are like the 1 and 2 primarily. But as far as like, down the stretch, there are some cases where maybe Sadiq is just shooting a little too much, which is what it kind of was in the summer league. He shot a little too much. Almost kind of shot them out of a few games. Then Jeremy's like shooting kind of still needs tuning. His finishing is solid, but his shooting kind of needs a little bit more tuning. That's where you throw in a Cade where shooting really ain't his problem right now. So throw him in there every once in a while, shoot a couple clutch buckets. Raises the stock a little bit more. But lucky I didn't say guards. I could have went full on Homer and just said all 3 rookies we had. I could have went full on Homer and just said all 3 rookies.
Wow, that would have been.
People would have hated me.
Hey, he can hoop.
But guards is a bucket.
Yeah, he can.
I'm put that out there. Like most improved in like 3 years, guards for sure.
Wow. Wow.
Shameless plug.
Hey, Detroit basketball, baby.
Okay, buddy. See, I didn't do it. But see, hey, look, I didn't do any major homer stuff with my Celtics, so I'm just saying I played it objective.
I mean, if the Celtics do end up being a top 4 to 5 seed, I think Jason Tatum will be in that conversation. But since I have him at, I can't in good conscience put him in my MVP, ranking.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I mean, yeah, okay, fine. I'm a Celtics fan, but I think they're a much deeper team. They're gonna get back to playing top 10-ish defense in the league. That's what I believe. And I think, hot take, I think their ceiling is 3. Their ceiling is 3.
Ceiling is 3. I can agree with
that.
So
third seed?
I can agree with that.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna pass Brooklyn or Milwaukee unless those teams like either like disappear or just destroyed by injury. No, but the ceiling is 3. I can see a scenario where it's as good as the 3 seed.
I can see that. I forgot you guys got Dennis and you got Josh Richardson. And you got Al Horford. Yeah, you made decent acquisition.
Yeah.
It's decent.
Hopefully, Neesmith takes a bigger role for you guys because that boy got a cannon.
Yeah, I mean, those guys have looked like they've taken a step. Hopefully, it will translate on the court in the regular season to give them that much needed bench scoring that kills us, so that we could stagger and because otherwise, Jason or Jalen, one of the two is always going to have to be on the court because they won't score. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So
yeah,
but yeah, ceiling's 3. Yeah. I had to get my homer in there since you did, so I'm just saying.
Hey, if y'all want to have y'all opportunities, because I'm definitely gonna take them throughout the year. I'm gonna let you know that right now. If K drops 30, y'all not gonna want to be here that day. I ain't gonna lie.
If he drops 30 one time,
if he 30 at any point, I don't care if it's the last week of the season.
Oh, he'll do it. There's going to be a game where he'll do it. Come on now.
None of us are hating on K. We're not saying that he won't be a great player. That's not what we're saying.
It ain't being said. It ain't being said in here, but it's being said in the streets. I got my ears to the streets.
I expect him to succeed. He's the number 1 overall pick. He better succeed. Or it's gonna be worse.
True. I mean, that's something like. I don't think it'll fall by the wayside. It'll definitely be. I feel like this could be the Trae Young Luka of this draft class. As far as like which 2 guys could have been either or with the pick. They ain't get traded, but it could have been either or with the pick.
It's actually crazy that you said that because somebody else said something similar to me about that, and I was like, it's far fetched. I have to see that to believe that. Like, as good as I think that K can be, like Luka and Trae are looking like Hall of Fame generational talent superstar already. Like Trae was averaging like 29 and like 9 at a certain point, and obviously like Luka has been flirting with averaging a triple-double for the last couple of years. They've been. I mean, Luka's flamed out mainly just because of the lack of
the team itself.
But like he's like when he's balling in the playoffs, he's balling. And obviously, we saw what Trae did this year when he got his opportunity. So it's like, I don't know, man. That's to say that they get to that level is pushing it.
Yeah, I can see it.
So everybody ain't meant to get to the top 10 player range, and that's shit. Trae's on his way, and depending on who you ask, Luka's there already. So
yeah, a lot of people already got Luka top 4.
See, those people are drunk.
Yeah, a lot of people already got Luka top 4. And Trae, for some reason, can't make it to at least top 7 for most people's list, which is funny to me.
Oh shit, Trae not even close to my top 10. He like 14, 15, 16. Shit. He not better than the other guys that's outside my top 10, like Kyrie and Tatum. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Well, now we are prepared for an excellent NBA season.
Yes, sir.
Did we do MVP and no, never do MVP. Did we do DPOI?
Oh, defensive?
Yeah.
We didn't. No.
Anthony Davis.
Draymond.
I'm sorry, Anthony Davis. Like it is almost a guarantee. It's almost a guarantee in my mind.
I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I think Draymond.
I think Draymond should always be in the conversation.
Yeah.
But with the Lakers being a top 3 seed, that I have them, AD playing like shit last year, people are gonna want to give it to him.
All right. You know what? I'll go full homer. Dark horse, Marcus Smart. Dark horse, Marcus Smart.
That's past the dark horse.
Oh, come on, he's a dog on defense. I thought you were
gonna say Jalen.
No, he is. But when was the last time a guard won Defensive Player of the Year? It's been
since Gary.
Probably Gary. Yeah, that's probably.
Well, that's why I did say dark horse. I didn't say he'd win it. I said dark horse.
I thought you were gonna say like Jalen or something. I can see Jalen being like a top 4 finisher.
I can't see that either.
I don't see it.
The top, bro. The top. I feel like top 4, top 5 finishers is going to be Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Rudy Gobert,
Draymond,
and Bam. Those are the top 5 right there to me.
We taking Giannis off this year?
Oh shit! I forgot about Giannis.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Giannis is probably at least.
He's not going to be higher than AD or Embiid to me. So I think he'll be in that range with Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like mainly, I think like Giannis potentially, and it's like for every year when it comes to this award, I want to say John Isaac, but he's just never healthy enough to win the award.
No, he never is. But he has the talent.
Yeah, it's like every year I want to say John Isaac for that role, but he just ends up going down with some horrific injury on the early stage of the year.
Yeah, he's snake bit. It's a shame.
I'll go Giannis. I'm gonna just lock that in. But dark horse though, if he's healthy and playing to his potential, John Isaac for defensive player of the year too, potentially win it.
All right, boys. I think we did pretty well. I think we did pretty well here.
Yep.
Yeah.
For everybody listening, let's get our plugs in here. For everybody listening, by all means, follow us on Twitter at Going for 3Pod. You want to follow any of us individually, you can follow me on Twitter at Tony the Real. Gentlemen, your plugs.
At PTP_99 on Twitter.
Chris D. Collins on Instagram, Chris D. Collins on Twitter. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone who is listening and will be listening. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your support. And y'all stay blessed.
Yep.